What's going on, guys? It's me, Fan 2016 here, and today we have a very different video for you guys. Today we're going to be doing some kind of like GeminiJets release reaction, some kind of like thing, but this is actually going to be different as I'm going to be having a second reaction to that, or my second thoughts on this GeminiJets release set. And that release set is the GeminiJets April 2023 releases. I already did a release reaction on this model, on this like release set already, so unfortunately, I was a little bit too harsh on this release set because of the lack of like models there is. So there's a total of 6 models on the April 2023 releases, and I was really harsh on this release set because there were no American models in 1/400 scale for the GeminiJets. I mean, there's this Gemini Max model right here, but technically we don't get that much of like American varieties in 1/400. We just only got like the 1/200 available 737 800. And I really gave that a very low rating for that release set. So I'm back here for the GeminiJets April 2023 releases, and I'm going to be having my second opinion on this release set. So it's going to be very interesting for me to like go over the GeminiJets release set for a second time. So once again, this is a very short release set. This has got to be like the shortest GeminiJets release for 2023. And it's all for like a reason right here, so I'm gonna like go through each model right there. So here we go. So let's get started with the GeminiJets April 2023 releases, and what are my second opinions on this, or what's my second opinion on this release set. So going to by order, like I'll go by order for each release set. So there are 2 1/400 GeminiJets releases, 1 Gemini Max release, and 3 Gemini 200s. That's a total of 6 models that were released in that set. And of course, it was a saving month for me. That's good. But I'm coming back here and I decided to like think of something else. So once again, I didn't really have like a very good opinion on this release set when I first saw this. So I was completely harsh on this release set, and I was like very critical on this release set. So I do apologize if I ended up giving this release set a bad score. But I'm going to be coming back here once again. And yeah, gonna like come up with this second opinion and give you my second opinion on this release set overall. So I'm using this website called archive.org, the Wayback Machine, excuse me. So if you want to take a look at these GeminiJets releases, then the Wayback Machine will be helpful. You just gotta go to archive.org, paste in the GeminiJets website link, and then it shows you all like the various years that GeminiJets were released at, even like going back all the way to like 2005. So that's very cool. So you can see all these like releases. Yeah, they would update the websites, and then people like use this archive and then capture all the things on GeminiJets releases. So with that being said, let's get started with the releases. So let's begin with the GeminiJets 1/400 section. We're going to be starting off with the Condor Airbus A330-900neo, and the price for that model is $60.95, and I do have a picture of her right here. So I think the Condor model is a nice model. I'm glad that GeminiJets has released a Condor A330neo. I think this was their first time they released a Condor Airbus A330neo for GeminiJets. I think some other manufacturers, or not sure if Phoenix did one before GeminiJets did, but from what I can recall, I think GeminiJets was the first one to release a Condor Airbus A330-900neo, and this is in the green stripes. And yeah, other than that, I think the model does look nice. It could be helpful for some other people's collections. I may try to like get a Condor, but not exactly in this livery, because JC Wings did the blue livery, the sea livery for Condor. I think this is the land livery for Condor Airlines new livery. So it just features green stripes, but I think I might go for the sea green, the sea livery for Condor Airlines, the blue stripes. So whether you like this model or you might want to get the blue stripes, then you can go for this model. I think this model should be a nice addition because Condor flies to various destinations like Seattle, Tacoma, San Francisco, Austin, Texas, which has just started their inaugural flight yesterday as of this recording, and then some other various destinations. I think they also fly to JFK too. So this Condor A330neo, it's very nice for your collection if you like to collect this model for your collection if ever Condor flies to your airport. So really nice model right here, and really fortunate that Gemini, well, I already said that, but great job GeminiJets on this model right here. I think the A330neo is a nice one, but of course there you have, well, NJ already has one. So looking forward to for other collectors. Well, of course I'm not going to be getting this, but looking forward to hopefully get the C livery, whether it'll be from NG or JC Wings. But highly likely if NG would do it first, I think. I'm not really quite sure, but it's kind of like debatable. But on that, here's your Condor A330 Neo in the green livery. And once again, well, this aircraft, I haven't read the registration, but the registration of that aircraft is Delta Alpha November Romeo Delta. And once again, the price is $16.95. Next up, we have the Etihad Airways Airbus A330, not A330 Neo, A350-1000. So this is another new mold, another model that's going to be exciting for some collectors. I think Etihad from the only US destination I know that Etihad flies their A350-1000s is from Abu Dhabi to Chicago O'Hare's, because I would see like in many of these videos an A350-1000 from Etihad Airways to Chicago O'Hare. It's a nice model as well. I don't really recall seeing like Etihad's A350 on the West Coast, but other than that, it should be a nice model. And yeah, I think the A350-1000 mold is a nice mold from Gemini Jets, and I think the printing of the Etihad livery and the colors is absolutely fantastic. So great work, Gemini Jets, on that. That aircraft is registered Alpha 6 X-Ray Whiskey Charlie, and the price is $66.95. So that's it for the 1-400 section. So it's a very small set, once again, 2 models, which is quite reasonable. And yeah, I'm gonna go into this model once I go to this model, of course, because I think this model has some really explains why this release set is small. But we'll be moving on to the Gemini Max release. Next up, we have the Boeing KC-135T Stratotanker from the Pennsylvania Air National Guard. So here's that aircraft. It's the only 1-400 US model, well, technically outside of the Gemini Jets product line. But this is a Gemini Max, but it's still a 1-400 US model. But it's nice we at least get a US military aircraft from the US Air Force, and the KC-135 Stratotanker mold is a nice mold from Gemini Jets right there, and I think this model does look very nice. I think it still features the one-wing cradle mold, which can't really complain too much, but it is what it is. But other than that, the printing of the model looks absolutely very nice, and they did a great job on representing the KC-135 Stratotanker on this livery right there. Well, technically this Air Force base. Well, I can't really recall. It's just the Pennsylvania Air National Guard. That's it. So that aircraft is registered 580054, and the price is $56.95. So that's the only Gemini Max release. Can't really complain too much since Gemini Max released 1 or 2 models, and yeah, that's it. Next up, we have the 1-200 sections for Gemini Jets' April 2023 releases, and we're gonna start off with a very high note, and I think this has got to be the highlight for this release set, and that is the Antonov AN225M Ria from Antonov Airlines. And yeah, as I pull this up, here she is right there. This has got to be the largest, I'm guessing the largest 1-200 model Gemini Jets has ever done, because the AN225 was the largest aircraft by weight, and unfortunately, of course, you already know the story, got destroyed in 2022, which is very unfortunate. So Gemini Jets wants to honor the legacy of the AN225 by creating this 1-200 model, and as you can see, she looks absolutely very nice. And yes, I do have that model in my collection already. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and if you haven't seen that model unboxing from Christmas of 2023, then I will leave that card on the top right corner. And yeah, really fortunate to have this model in my collection. It's an absolute monster of a model. And yeah, it's just massive. That's all I can really say. It's just very beautiful, and Gemini Jets did a flat out amazing job with the detailing of this model. So phenomenal effort, Gemini Jets. That's what I love to see. And of course, the 1-200 molds, they're just very well detailed, and can't really complain too much, but they really rock it on their 1-200 department. And the reason why this release set is very small is because of the box size of the AN225. A 16 by 16 box, that's like a giant box. I don't think it can fit on a standard Gemini Jets packing box, so therefore they decide to make this release that's so small because of this AN225, which I'll take credit for Gemini Jets, because they understand why this release set is small. The box of the AN225 is so large, and I don't think you can get as many models in one Gemini Jets standard packing box in one go. So I'll take Gemini Jets credit for that, but I think it's well understanding why this release set is small because of this aircraft right here. I think I already mentioned the registration. Uniform I don't think I have not. but the aircraft registration is Uniform Romeo 82060, which was the only Antonov AN225 that was built. And the price is $264.95, and you can also take a look at the photos. So they also released some photos. So here is like the images. They actually did hint out these images back in February 2023. So yeah, they already hinted all like the looks of the AN225 at 1/200 scale, and yeah, they decided to release it in April 2023. So here are the images right there. Overall, once again, I think GeminiJets did a flat-out amazing job on the AN225 and 1/400. Not 1/400. I wish they do it at 1/400, but you got the Herpa already. But they did a flat-out amazing job on this 1/200 model right there, and then you can see the model stats right there. And yeah, you can pause and read, and yeah, it says that they're gonna release it in April 2023. So wasn't well, first time I saw this, like, oh my god, there it is. But yeah, here it is. They say that they're gonna release it in April 2023. So there's your AN225 in Korea in 1/200 scale. Now I just gotta get a sip of water real quick. And then we're gonna move on to the other two models. So next up we have the Avelo Boeing 737-800. So here she is right there. Overall, nice that GeminiJets has released a 1/200 Avelo 737-800, and I think they're the first ones to do a 1/200 Avelo model. So that's really cool right there. But other than that, I think their Boeing 737-800 mold is nice, and overall, I think they did a great job on this model. So here is the livery itself. They also did a great job on the printing of the livery too. So here it is. Should be nice for the 1/200 collectors. I think some 1/200 collectors have already had this already. So I think it might be sold out at this point, or maybe it's still available. But the 1/400 counterpart was sold out already. So yeah, that's that. The registration of that aircraft is November 801 X-Ray Tango, and the price is $104.95. And our last model from that release set is the Lufthansa Airbus A320neo in the Love Hansa livery. So as I pull this up, here she is right there. So I think GeminiJets also did a fantastic job. Well, not really fantastic. I think they also did a good job on this model right here. I think the nose might be, not really sure about the nose, but I think they may still got the nose incorrect, but I can't really complain too much. It's the best they can do with the nose shape of the A320 model in 1/200 scale. But other than that, the engines are proportional, the printing of the livery is great, and overall, they still did a great job on this model right here, and overall, I'm proud of their efforts right here. So great work, GeminiJets, on this model as well. And that aircraft is registered Delta Alpha India November Yankee, and the price is the same price as for that Avelo 737-800. So that's it for this release set. Now, given my second reaction, or like second opinion on this, what I think of this release, like, what am I saying? Okay, so what do I think about this release set as of May 2024 as I'm recording this, after a year when GeminiJets released this. So I think they released it back in March 14th of 2023. So here we are in May 2024. So what do I think of this release set after I give my second overall thoughts on this release set and overall review for that release set a second time? Well, I will say, I think this release set is okay. It's not like, typically I would say it's not really like the best release set out there. I'm not saying it's worse, but for the size of the AN225 and just the variety of airlines, I think that's reasonable, but I think maybe they could do a little bit more, like balance it out a little bit more. But I think some collectors would appreciate the Condor A330neo and the Etihad A350-1000s, because like I think some collectors who have their Chicago model airports do have a Etihad A350-1000, and some other collectors also may have the Condor A330neo as well. And under that, they did a great job on those models, and I can't really complain because it's good. And of course, I think some other collectors also have the Pennsylvania Air National Guard KC-135. So very nice model right here. But I think like a couple of collectors do have the AN225 at 1/200, and then yeah, of course I'm one of those people. But yeah, that's basically the April 2023 releases. So other than that, it's an okay release set. It's not, once again, it's not the worst release set of 2023, but it's kind of like in the low ranking of release sets, like releases of NG 2023 releases, because like it's just like the lack of varieties. But at least we get like a KC-135, so that counts. So I'll just bump up the score for this one, and the Avail 737-800 is also a nice addition as well. I think, yeah, well, this is Asian, like Middle East stuff, but if we could have some Asian models and other oceanic models, then this would have been a better release set, like kind of like balance it out. Like you have like all these from models from North America, South America, Europe, Asia. But other than that, I'm happy with this release set, and I'm really glad to have the AN225. And yeah, I think that's the only model out of this release set that I got from the April 2020 release. Like what am I saying? Okay, let me rephrase it. So the AN225 Maria was the only model I got from that release set, and yeah, I think I'll just scratch out. Originally, I was planning on that Condor A330 Neo, however, because of NG's A330 Neo mold, and possibly they might do a blue stripe A330 Neo at some point, then I'll be waiting for that NG model, like NG to release that. But other than that, still a good release sets, and yeah, GeminiJets, it's quite understandable why this release set was short, or yeah, it was short because of that AN225, but I can't really complain. It is what it is. So overall, to give you my overall rating for this release set, I think I gave it like a very low rating, kind of like around a 68 or like a 71. Yeah, I think that was a very low release set ranking, but after seeing this release set for a second time, what is my next rating? Well, what is my second rating for this release set? And I'm happy to say this, guys, but I will say, like, I would give this release set, after looking at this a second time, I would actually give this release set a 76%. I think there needs to be a balance between each airline from each continent, but other than that, this is good by far. I think the Condor and Etihad A350 1000s are nice additions for all the international guys, and other than that, I'm really glad they at least have a 1/400 US model for the KC-135 and this 1/200 Avail 738. But other than that, it's an okay release set, and hopefully we don't get like releases like this, because like it's kind of, I think it's been a while since GeminiJets has released a very short release set. I think the last time they did that, I can't really recall, but they did some short releases during like their starting of their operations. So I think it really has been decades ever since. But other than that, still a good release set, as I said a couple of times. I don't know why I said that a couple of times, but I just want to give you my final thoughts on this release set. But great work, GeminiJets, and hopefully we can see some more good releases. Of course, the April 2024 release set was a great release set with that United Max 9 and the Everett Air Cargo MD-80. But other than that, really nice to see GeminiJets working it, and I'm really glad they released the AN225 on that release set. So that's it for today's video. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.